Now, on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a major indictment this morning in the capital murder case of 16-year-old Lisbeth Medina. Will tell you what the indictment's revealing about the Edna cheerleader's death. Turning now to the Marine helicopter that went overdue for landing earlier this week. Authorities have found the helicopter, but its condition and the condition of the Marines on board remain unknown. 25 News now has the latest developments out of California. And you're looking at the aftermath of a crash last night on Houston Highway that sent 2 people to an area hospital. We'll tell you what first responders say about their condition this morning.
And we still have some nice spring weather hanging on to us this morning and for the rest of this weekend until we got that rain coming our way. We'll take a look at that in the weather coming up.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astroin.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 8th day of February 2024. The time is now 6:31 on our Thursday morning, and it's National Opera Day.
Opera Day. Have you been to an opera?
Oh yes, the Houston Grand Opera is so wonderful. I think I saw Madame Butterfly there, and I've even been to the Opera House in Portland, Oregon. I saw, gosh, what is it called? Something about Figaro. But there's an opera house in Dallas that I've been wanting to go to for years.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I might have to go do that. I might have to go drive up to Dallas and go have to see that.
It's supposed to be beautiful.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Well, Parker, how's it looking out there? For us, I hear it's also beautiful.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, Carolina.
Or it's so Iowa out there.
Yeah, because apparently Carolina has informed me this morning that Iowa is apparently, it means beautiful.
It says possibly means beautiful.
Possibly means beautiful. Gotcha. Well, it is quite Iowa yet again out there for us this morning. She's laughing at me over there. Right now, if y'all tuning in with us this morning, you're looking at a live look at Victoria, where we are finally out of those 40 and 50 degree mornings. In fact, if you have stepped outside, it feels quite nice out there. It's actually because of the humidity is quite high. 62 degrees right now here in the Crossroads, but your humidity at 86%, make it a little bit humid out there. It's enough for a little bit of dew on the windshield, but not enough for fog. But we are expecting possibly see some fog overnight. Tonight after midnight, it's when it's going to start forming. But we're also expecting to see possibly some rain chances going to be increasing over the next few days, actually starting today, to which we have a 20% chance for a couple isolated showers. I'll look at that in just a second, because it is going to be warm for the rest of this week into this weekend before that cool front arrives on Sunday. But looking at your future tracker here, because like I said, we could maybe see a couple really light pop-up showers, isolated showers, 1 or 2 this afternoon. As you can see here by noontime and going into the afternoon, like I said, really light showers out there. But going into tonight, it's going to calm down a little bit, and to tomorrow, we think we might see another day of those isolated showers. Now, nothing on the radar right now, because it was thinking that we could see some right now, but nothing right now. But look at the temperatures for today. We're going to be warming up back to the 70s. I think it's going to be about 74 today, and it's going to be like that for the rest of this week until that cool front arrives on Sunday. And we'll take a look at that more in just a few more moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. We now turn to the capital murder investigation of Edna cheerleader Lisbeth Medina. A Jackson County grand jury has indicted the 23-year-old man accused in her death. The indictment says Rafael Govea Romero intentionally murdered Medina while in the act of committing or attempting to commit burglary, robbery, or aggravated sexual assault. The indictment accuses Romero of causing Medina's head to strike a firm substance. He's also accused of hitting her in the head with a hard object. The indictment also says he repeatedly stabbed or cut Medina with a sharp object or edged weapon. Authorities arrested Romero 5 days after Medina's mother found her in their Edna home. Medina's phone remained active in the days following her death, and information from her phone led authorities to Schulenburg and Romero. Authorities say Romero also had Medina's wallet. Medina's mother says she's satisfied with the progress of the investigation and says this indictment can put an end to any speculations or rumors surrounding this case. Romero is at the Jackson County Jail with a bond set at $2 million. Romero reportedly overstayed a work visa, and due to his immigration status, there's a hold and he's unable to post bond. No word on if the district attorney plans to pursue the death penalty in this case. Search and rescue crews located an overdue military helicopter in a remote area of the Cleveland National Forest in Southern California Wednesday. 5 Marines were on board the CH-53E Super Stallion helicopter flying from Creech Air Force Base in Nevada. to Miramar when it was reported overdue Tuesday. The last ping from the aircraft was received about 11:30 Tuesday night, indicating its last known location in a rugged area of East County. Emergency crews responded to that location but were not able to locate the helicopter at night, instead finding it a few hours later. There's no word yet on the condition of the helicopter or those Marines on board. First responders sent 2 people to an area hospital out of precaution last night after a crash on Houston Highway. They reportedly suffered minor injuries and will make a full recovery. The crash happened shortly before 8 o'clock last night. It was an unusual GOP primary on Tuesday as the Silver State voters technically selected none of the candidates on the ballot to win the Republican race. Nevada permitted voters backed a specific candidate or effectively picked none of the White House hopefuls. That option received more support than Haley in the Republican primary. The outcome in Nevada was Haley's 3rd consecutive loss in an early state primary contest, as former President Donald Trump was not on the ballot. On the Democratic side, President Biden won the Democrats' Nevada presidential primary. Victoria County Sheriff's Office have charged a 17-year-old for participating in a riot. Authorities took Manuel Nava into custody on charges yesterday. He's in the Victoria County Jail with a bond set at $40,000. In an exclusive interview with sources, 3-time Olympic gold medalist Gabby Douglas announced that she is planning to compete at the Olympics. She will return to her first competition in 8 years on February 24th at the Winter Cup in Louisville, Kentucky, the first elite gymnastics meet of the year. At age 28, Douglas will be the oldest gymnast in competition at the Winter Cup. And here's a look at some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. A former grocery store being demolished due to increased taxes, and the Calhoun County Commissioner's Court has taken steps toward the creation of a waste transfer station and physical therapy room. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com. And remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:37 on our Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. Brent Baldwin and A.J. Louderback are 2 of the 4 Republican candidates in the race for District 30.
The Supreme Court is set to take on the case on whether former President Trump could be kept off the presidential ballot in Colorado. I'm Mike Ajachi reporting in Washington. Coming up, how this case could affect the rest of the country.
We'll get your school bus forecast, followed by your weather and health forecast. And later on Sunrise, we'll take another look at that cool front that's coming our way this weekend. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're all tuning in with us this morning, look at a live look at Cuero, where that cloud cover is still hanging on just a little bit. But with that cloud cover, it's making it a nice morning. About 63 up there in Cuero right now. Quite a much different morning than the 40s that we've had all week long. But with that dew point, just 4 degrees off the temperature, you get an 87% humidity. So it's a little bit humid out there. It's enough to create some dew on your windshield to use your windshield wipers, but it's not enough for fog. We're actually expecting that overnight tonight. But if you're sitting your kiddos at the door, it's going to be 62, just like it is right now. I guess it was 63 in Cuero. Warmer, much warmer than the last few days. And as they're heading back home, they don't even need to bring a jacket today because it's going to be warm all day long. Get up to about 74 today. under those mostly cloudy skies. It's going to be a nice warm day. Never underestimate the Texas sun. But looking at your weather and health forecast here, tree pollen is still moderate today because we had those strong winds yesterday, gusting to 25 and sometimes about 30 miles an hour. But everything else is green lights. Go for launch. Nothing too bad for us. But looking at your forecast for the rest of this week into this weekend, everything is still on the rise, whether it's the temperatures, the cloud cover, or the rain chances before that front on Sunday. I'm going to take a look at that more in just a few moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Now to the landmark election case the Supreme Court is expected to take up today regarding former President Trump. The case has no real precedent in the U.S.'s history. It's a decision that could effectively remove the former president from the 2024 ballot.
This morning, history unfolding at the Supreme Court. Justices will hear oral arguments over whether former President Trump can be kicked off the ballot in Colorado.
For Trump, most obviously, is the question of whether or not he could be removed from the ballot, not just in Colorado, but in other states.
Colorado took Trump off the ballot in December, claiming he engaged in insurrection against the United States on January 6th, violating Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, a civil wartime amendment meant to keep insurrectionists out of government. The exact wording of the amendment will be under scrutiny today because it does not specifically mention the president, only officers of the government. Despite not being convicted for his alleged role in the January 6th riot, Colorado is expected to argue that since Trump participated, he can't be on the ballot.
Therefore, Donald Trump is ineligible to be president of the United States, the same as if he were only 34 years old or not a natural-born citizen, that this is a constitutional qualification, and so he can't appear on the ballot.
Experts believe the High Court will ultimately not grant states the ability to decide who gets to be on their ballots.
They could just say, look, it's up to Congress and not up to us, the Supreme Court, but that itself will be a decision, meaning Colorado can't remove him from the ballot if it's up to Congress.
Oral arguments today could last up to 3 hours. The justices are expected to issue a decision before Colorado's primary on March 5th. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We ask you, how will the Supreme Court rule on Trump's removal from Colorado's ballot? Okay, let's take a look. 58% of you. This was a higher earlier in the show this morning, and then it dipped down to the 40s, but now it's rising back up again. So 58% of you say you're thinking they're going to rule in Trump's favor. And 42% of you say you're thinking they're going to uphold the removal. We want to keep hearing from y'all. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. Representative Jeannie Morrison announced she's not running for re-election back in December. Since that announcement, 4 Republican candidates have thrown their names in the hat for District 30. 25 News Now reporter Darius McCormick spoke to 2 of the candidates.
Brett Baldwin and A.J. Louderback are 2 of the 4 Republican candidates in the race for District 30. When candidates run for office, they want to make a change. We asked Baldwin and Louderback what changes they would make if elected.
I definitely want to make sure that we get our state standards up higher so we attract other companies to come here and, more importantly, get our future students as well as the current ones ready for the workforce. And
I want to see a return to conservative values. I want to see, I want to address the culture change that's going on in Texas, in our district.
They also explained how they would make these changes happen in their potential terms.
Work collaboratively with the folks that are in leadership there, making sure that they understand what needs to be done. Our government in Austin looks at the bigger metropolitan areas and they make laws, and unfortunately those laws don't always do well for this area.
Well, I'm a known entity there. I wouldn't go into the Texas House being an unknown part. So I believe I'll have some immediate influence and some immediate impact in the Texas House.
Baldwin says his love for Christ, experience in business, and knowledge of the area makes him the best candidate.
I've worked for 3 international companies around the world, so I have a good experience and unique qualities that I can interface and work together and collaboratively find solutions.
Louderback says his law enforcement experience sets him apart from the other candidates.
My 5 terms as a Texas sheriff, my 10 sessions that I've worked religiously on, my border policies, my border work for many, many years sets me apart.
We've reached out to Vanessa Hicks Calloway and Jeff Bachnight. We plan to speak to them soon. Darius McCormick, KVUE TV, 25 News Now.
Brent Baldwin and AJ Louderback are two of the four Republican candidates in the race for District 30. When candidates run for office, we'll have more information on those candidates on our website, crossroadstoday.com. All right, the time is now 6:45 on our Thursday morning. Still to come on 25 News Now Sunrise, we learn about a historic case, Hernandez versus Texas.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. That little system out there in California that just dumped a lot of rain, about 18 inches to be precise, is still raining over there in California. But that system is actually supposed to come our way over the next few days. And that actually leads us to today's weather poll because they got so much rain. Do you have any family or friends that was affected by the major flooding in California? Let's take what y'all saying. About 17% of y'all say yes, you do. I hope y'all's family and friends are all safe because they did get a lot of rain over there. And 83% of y'all say no, you did not. So that's pretty good news. Majority of y'all say no. But to vote on today's weather poll and any future weather polls, go to crossroadstoday.com/vote-weather to participate and see what everybody else says as well. Now, like I said, looking at this new system, you can actually see the center of low pressure system spinning right there just west of Las Vegas, entering that Nevada border. But that system is actually going to come our way actually after the system that just impacted California. You can actually see that low center up there and the Dakotas entering Minnesota over the next few hours or so. But here in the Crossroads, we are still getting that little band of the bottom end of that trough where we're getting all that cloud cover, and we could even see some slight chance of some showers today. Very, very weak light showers, maybe like 1 or 2 isolated showers this afternoon and tomorrow as well. But looking at the future track here, that low that just came through California, up there in the Dakotas, that's going to push northeast, making way for this new low to come right over the Baja Peninsula and giving us lots of showers. It's going to be a messy, messy day with lots of systems out there over the next few days. But we'll take a look at that and more in just a few more moments. And I hear this morning, Carolina, you have a guest.
We're now joined by attorney Sandra Hardy McKenzie, here to talk to us about an important anniversary. Welcome, Sandra.
Thank you, Carolina. This is an important anniversary. It is the 70th year of Hernandez versus the state of Texas. And in that landmark decision, it was determined that Mexican Americans and individuals of Spanish descent were being excluded from the jury process in Jackson County and throughout Texas. And these incredible attorneys volunteered their time and showed that the jury array in 25 years had never selected an individual of Mexican American descent or Spanish surname in Jackson County for 25 years.
Wow, that's incredible considering the history the Hispanic population has in this region.
Correct. And in fact, one of the attorneys who brought this to the forefront, his family was Mexican American, had signed the Texas Declaration of Independence.
Oh, wow.
And he said he'd been here since before Sam Houston arrived. And yet, when he went to the Jackson County Courthouse, he couldn't use the regular bathroom. He had to use the bathroom that was meant for colored men. It said on the door, "Hombres aquí."
Hombres aquí. And this is a landmark case that took place before it was, before that law that basically made speaking Spanish illegal in public spaces. I think that law existed until 1971. So we have this history of discrimination in our state, and this case was a big step toward eliminating that.
Right. They found that the 14th Amendment says no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the law.
That's right. We have the right to be judged by a jury of our peers. So in order to achieve that, we need to have equality and the right to serve on a jury without facing discrimination based on ancestry or race.
Right.
Very
and
important.
what they found was that there was a rule of an exclusion. While the law on its face was not discriminatory, the application of the law was such that even though there was 14% of the population Hispanic or Mexican American, in 25 years, not one of them had been selected for the jury array.
Wow. Well, it just reminds us to be thankful for the privilege of serving on a jury. And if you are called, please do serve, because you could be a part of what's making that jury more just, more equitable, and giving that person that's on trial their full rights.
Well, Mexican Americans provide a valuable service when they serve on jurors, as all of our Victoria jurymen do, because frequently I face in my personal injury practice, I face insurance companies that don't want to pay. Yet if they know they're coming to Victoria, Texas, and they're going to face a fair judge and a representative jury of our population, they're going to have a stiff hill to climb if they don't tell the truth, because our people will see it.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Sandra, for celebrating this huge achievement with us. Thank you, Sandra.
You're welcome.
All right, well, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. At least 6 people are unaccounted for after a house was set on fire in a shooting that wounded 2 officers in Pennsylvania on Wednesday. Police arrived on the scene shortly before 4 p.m. for a report of an 11-year-old being shot. When they arrived, a gunman opened fire from inside the home. 2 officers were shot and dragged to safety. They were both taken to a local hospital and are expected to survive. The house the gunman was inside caught fire during the chaos. Crews were unable to assist immediately due to the ongoing threat from the gunman. The gunfire eventually stopped, and crews were able to get the fire mostly under control. Authorities say they fear several people could still be inside the home. A student was hospitalized after being reported stabbed at a high school in Minneapolis on Tuesday. Authorities say the student was stabbed in a classroom with an art tool that another student had in their hand. They say the incident happened near the end of the school day. An injured student was transported to a local medical center for evaluation. School leaders did not elaborate on the nature of the injury, but said both parties involved are boys. It's unclear what led to the stabbing. Sorry, I have to catch my breath here. Louise ISD Superintendent Garth Oliver says he was fired. Oliver told the El Campo Leader News Louise ISD Board President Mark Bain and a trustee came to his office Friday and told him he was fired. Oliver said he was told his last day would be February 16th, and Bain said he cannot discuss personnel issues due to confidentiality. Oliver had 2.5 years left on his contract. The National Weather Service says Hallettsville was not hit by a tornado last Friday night. Instead, Hallettsville was hit by a microburst straight-line wind during a thunderstorm. The area of damage was about a mile wide for 7 miles. This kind of damage is not uncommon with a strong line of thunderstorms that was moving through central Lavaca County last night. The National Weather Service has these river flood warnings posted for the Crossroads. A river flood warning for Victoria and Calhoun counties is in effect until early Friday afternoon. For the Guadalupe River near Bloomington, as of 1 o'clock this morning, the river was at 23.6 feet. Flood stage is 20 feet. FBI agents disrupted a plot by 3 men to travel to the Texas-Mexico border to kill Border Patrol agents and immigrants crossing illegally because they believed the country was being invaded. That's according to court documents filed in federal courts. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search Crossroads Today Plus. And we do have time for a final check of our forecast with Parker. Parker, you were showing me some of those beautiful sunrises on our weather bugs.
Yeah, it's not too bad of a sunrise. In fact, very cloudy out there, but right now it's quite a nice morning. We're out of those 40s, 61 degrees right now, but it's going to be like that for the rest of this week. In fact, everything's going to be on the rise, whether it's the temperatures, the cloud cover, or the rain chances. We even have a good shot at seeing some isolated showers, 1 or 2 this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon before that front on Sunday.
All right, Parker, I put my air conditioner back on, for sure.
I might have to do that too.
All right, well, thank you for joining us and have a wonderful Thursday. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join us tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Make it a great Opera Thursday.